Welcome, everybody. This is John Paul, Dr. Speed Selling. This is Raging Verbalist number 190. Hard to believe, but we're at 190 of these. And if you're new, welcome, welcome. If you're been with us for a while, glad that you're back. Always hit that like button, and hopefully you're a subscriber, and we can move on from there. If you want to be annoyed, hit the notification, and this thing will pop up. Raging Verbalist is a topic that I rage about, something that comes up, and kind of steer clear of most politics, but we touch on a variety of other topics, mostly about business and things that I see in the business world, entrepreneurship, sales, marketing, and other assorted things. So with me, as always, is the ever lovely Sandra, looking very sophisticated today. Well, welcome, Sandra.
Hello, and thank you. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. This is one of those that we've been working on, and I'm ready to rage. So, all right, what are we talking about today?
All right, we're talking about T-Mobile and your experience. So how did you decide to switch to T-Mobile?
Well, about a year and a half ago, I realized that the then current carrier, because we had lots of phone lines. I mean, I've got phone lines for various businesses and everything. More than I start feeling like a old style bookie. The blue phone is this line, and the red phone is this line, and all of that stuff. And so I decided I was going to make a change, and I started looking and talking to people about carriers. In fact, you were part of that mix, because I asked well, what was your experience with T-Mobile? And as typical Sandra, she said, well, it used to be terrible, but it was cheap, and then it got better. Did I summarize it the right way?
Yeah, pretty much.
So I said, okay. And then I talked to my niece and her extended group, and they, everybody was using T-Mobile, and said, no, this actually works pretty well. So I decided to make the plunge, and actually booked an appointment to go see them, because I learned long ago, wandering into a retail store, trying to buy this online was just ridiculous. I had too much stuff going on. So that was kind of the the switch. I said, okay, I got to go check them out and see if it will actually, one, give me better service, because that's the number one reason that I would switch, and two, offer me more features, less money, kind of thing.
And who was your previous carrier?
So I was with Verizon for many, many years. I mean, we're all talking about decades, because Verizon had the biggest network, the baddest network in the whole damn town, and worked pretty well, right? I mean, that way I could go places and do these things, and it wasn't really a problem. I liked that aspect of it, because Verizon had by the way, everybody who has a map, and I don't care which carrier they are, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, any map that you see is just I think they give these maps out to preschoolers and give them a colored crayon and say, color within these lines, and we'll just say that's where we've got the coverage, because I can tell you that most of those are not real. They really don't have coverage, all those places.
And what was the technical reason for changing?
So, and I'm involved in several businesses, and in one business, I was actually taking lots of photographs of buildings for in this case, commercial buildings. And one of the processes that I would do is I take all these pictures, and it would then go onto my phone, and the phone was the best way to do it, fastest way to do it. And then what I would do is, of course, want the phone to synchronize with the cloud, right? Because that's the fastest way to do this. So we're trying to get speed into this process. And so I would say sync now, and it would come along, and I'd be driving in the rental car at that point in time, because I was in the wilds of Colorado, and a pop-up would show up, and it would say, are you sure that you want to send this using cellular data? Data limits may apply. Well, I had the most unlimited plan you could have, and it was the unlimited. And I said, and I would go yes, and then driving down the road, I'd look down, and it had moved a couple of photographs. I mean, typically there's somewhere between 30 and 70 for each property. And it would pop up and say, are you aware that this is a cellular thing? And whoa. And in fact, I stopped at a Verizon store and said, hey, where is the turn this stupid thing off? I want you to use cellular whenever I want to use cellular. I don't want you, well, sir, we want to make sure that you understand what's going on. I said, I'm on the most unlimited plan, Well, but we might have to throttle you down the road. Great, throttle me down the road, but send him up now. So I had taken several properties in one day, and I really needed to get them up to the cloud. We were behind schedule. So I'm thinking, how do I find a hot spot? By the way, now don't ever think you can do this like at a Starbucks or Panera Bread, because boy, they kind of look at you and they're like, well, look, they must be uploading like porn or something. I don't know. And so I go to a Best Buy, and I walk up to guys at the Geek Squad, and I said, look, here's my problem. I need to get onto a high-speed Wi-Fi, and I need to upload these photographs. Had to go through and tell the story. 2 Geek Squad guys are there, and the guy basically gets me on to the Geek Squad employee Wi-Fi to do this. And at that point in time, I said, this is bullshit. I'm not going to put up with this. This really sucks, because my other alternative was to go back to the hotel using the hotel's Wi-Fi, because everybody says high-speed Wi-Fi, which means nothing. High-speed has no exactness to it. So I was just screwed. And of course, you could buy the premium plan at the hotel for an extra $5 a day. In Vegas, 20, but $5 a day. And then it would also start to go data capping you. So that was suck. So I said, okay, I got to find something better. And every person I had talked to, yourself included, and would say, well, have you noticed any of these things? Now, obviously you weren't doing the exact same thing I was doing, but it had hope. So I said, okay, I'm going to go change carriers, which for me is a big deal. I don't do it often. It's a big deal. Now, this is why this call is, because we're going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you're thinking about switching, I'm going to tell you the good parts, but I'm also going to tell you some bullshit that happened, which really doesn't make me happy.
And what did T-Mobile promise you, and what did you end up doing?
So I had 2 main lines that I was moving over, and both of them had been with Verizon for many, many years. The other lines I was bringing over from an oddball carrier called Republic. But I was bringing over these lines from Verizon, and T-Mobile had a real incentive program. If you're bringing over Verizon lines, we'll give you money. And they offered me $200 per line. I filled out all the paperwork. I did it while I was there. We sent it up there. We did all that stuff. And normally, and I've done incentive programs, is that they would I would send you something. Okay, so $200 a line, $400. Okay. Then they said, but hey, this is even better, because you're with T-Mobile. This is even better. We're going to give you Paramount Plus. Well, who doesn't want another streaming service? You never know when you could use another streaming service. I said, okay, Paramount Plus is going to be free. Guy signed me up for it right there, plugged everything in, all is good. Then they said, well, you have Netflix? Of course I have Netflix. Well, we'll pay the basic part of Netflix, and you have to pay the overage. I said, done. And then we have Tuesday deals. So if you're ever going to show up, you can show up on a Tuesday, and we have deals, and you'll get perks. So that was the inducement. That was the big hunk of cheese to get me into the T-Mobile place. Now, all of that sounds pretty good. I'm pretty excited about it. And I said, yeah, let's do it. Now, I already had figured out what I was going to spend, the $400. I already figured out what I was going to do and all of that. But before we get to that, there's one thing that you should do, which is understand that you should absolutely think about what you're doing intentionally. So why do most businesses fail in the first 5 minutes? But it takes them 3 to 5 years to realize it. Position to Win. This is my book. And I'm going to tell you right now, the reason why most businesses fail in 5 minutes, the first 5 minutes, is that they do not think about where their position is in the market. So if you go and check this book out, you can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, and wherever books are sold, you can order the physical copy. You can also go to positiontowinbook.com, positiontowinbook.com. Check that out. Some free stuff there. You can also buy it and have me autograph it. Also, it's available in every electronic format, or at least these three: Kindle, Nook, and Apple iBooks. So go check that out. That will save you from having the embarrassment of 3 to 5 years from now telling everybody that you borrowed or got into the deal, why it went and sucked. And then also check out Remote Work for a Better World. Lots of controversy going on right now about remote work, but that's exclusively on the Apple Kindle store. So do that, and you will, in fact, have a better chance of making it in business. All right, Sandra, we're back to it. What is the next question? What are we going to talk about?
So all of the perks, they sound great. And did you end up getting what was promised you?
Well, that's the reason why we're having a call today. That's why we're having a Raging Verbalist. Is the answer is no, hell no, fuck no. No, I didn't get these. I didn't get my $200 a line. And that really irritated and pissed me off. And I called them on the phone and said, hey, where's my $400? Well, did you fill out the paperwork? Yes, filled out the paperwork the day I bought it. Well, I said, where's the credit card? You mail the credit, what have I've gotten it in the mail. Mail, they say, wow, how old are you? Mail, we haven't heard about that for years. Nobody does it in the mail. You're going to get it electronically. They have my email address because they send me emails all the time. They have my phone numbers because I'm with them. No cards. I said, how do you fix this? Well, maybe you should go back to a store. Went to a retail store. It didn't kind of work out. So that sucked. Didn't get that. Now we go on. Did I get Netflix? Don't know. Did I get anything? I don't know. But what I did get is that, hey, wait a second. On a Tuesday, while I was in there bitching about no $400 and some of these other problems, they did give me this pink little zippy cup that says T-Mobile Tuesday's deal. So I've got that little pink straw. I should probably go sell this in a Barbie movie. I'll just tape a Barbie logo over that and maybe make some money or something. But so I did get that. That was an example. And so I really didn't receive the incentives. And I said, how do I prove to myself that I'm getting the Netflix money? No answer on that one. Sucks.
So can you give me an example?
Well, an example of what they told me that I could do for Paramount Plus is that the woman said, now this is a $6 a month premium, by the way. So it's $72 for the year minus 12 cents because it's $5.99. So that, you can do the math. And she said, well, here's what you do with Paramount Plus, because I'll send you a new code. Cancel your Paramount Plus, re-sign up for Paramount Plus. Then that way we can get this whole thing straightened out and do that. Now, I don't know how much money any of you make, but I have very little patience and no time to try to go out there and save the $72. Now, maybe that she was right. I said, how come I didn't take the first time? I don't know. Now I have to cancel it. I have to create a brand new account. Now you're going to tell me that Paramount Plus is going to say, this cancellation just came in and you're using the exact same email address. I pointed that out to her. She goes, well, maybe you could use a different email address. Oh, yeah. Now I want to set up a separate email address as if I don't have enough already to go out and try to unravel for my $6, $5.99 actually. And I just went, that sucks. So there you go. That's an example of a bullshit thing, which is bullshit. And T-Mobile, there you go. Hopefully somebody from T-Mobile watches this and contacts me, because not a happy guy about these incentives. Don't layer on the incentives if you don't have a good way to deliver them, because then it turns into being a mirage.
So did you ever end up getting the $400?
Well, we are now 13 months out and I have not gotten it. And I am, the last thing I want to do is go get on hold again. And I was on, and again, I do more than one thing, but I had a 45-minute phone call and all they said was, wow, maybe you should go to the store. No, I never got the $400. And by the way, I will continue to tell people, make sure that you get what they say they're going to give you, because I didn't get it. And their process, they don't have it. And they always tell me, well, go online. Yeah, we're online. Does it say you guys screwed up? where's my dough? Where's my incentive? They don't have a button for that. And then they say, can we ask you for your feedback? Yeah. By the way, I gave them terrible feedback. I typed in the feedback notes what had happened. Well, we may contact you. Right. Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
And have you ever had this kind of problem before?
Sadly, I have. And I used to chew on these guys a lot. There's this airline you may have heard of called Delta. And prior to Delta growing to the size they are, I used to fly this other airline called Western Airlines long ago, had built up lots and lots of points, and they were acquired by Delta. So when they were acquired by Delta, they said, well, this loyalty program, the miles that you've built up from Western, well, we're going to acknowledge them and keep them. That's kind of a cool thing, right? Who doesn't want to have free flights? Who doesn't want to have that? And it took them several years because I ended up with 2 accounts. And they had no mechanism, no method, nothing. It wasn't until a gate agent, like 5 years into this nonsense, that merged the 2 accounts together, which of course she had to call somebody up in, I guess, Mount Olympus or something and talk to the chief honcho to figure out how to do this. So yes, and I fly Delta a lot less. I mean, I just don't want to have to hassle with it. And if people ask me, I go, and I know people who are Delta lovers, but I can just tell you, they screwed that up and irritated me. And so for the rest of my life, just like other airlines, I don't want to say United, can really get you, especially if you can make decisions and make other decisions. So I walk with my money and march away.
And so with all of this, would you recommend T-Mobile?
So here's the interesting part. From a technical standpoint, I don't get little pop-ups reminding me that, oh my God, you're going to put this on the cellular network. And the cellular network seems to inhale and do this thing and actually give me unlimited. So on that side, from the technical side, I'm happy with what T-Mobile is delivering. They seem to be actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. All of that is good. So as long as you don't count on the perks, which I know a lot of people would say, John, I'm just chalking it up that they screwed me and I'm going to be screwed. And I'll just keep telling people about it. Maybe someday I'll meet somebody from T-Mobile. Ironically, I know people who actually work there as developers, but nobody can figure out how to solve this problem. So would I recommend it from the technical side? Yes. Would I recommend it from the business side? No. So if you're really going to expect to get all those perks, don't expect it at all. And still have Paramount Plus. I didn't cancel and then re-entry and do all that stuff. Guys, if you're going to do any kind of incentive program, this is switching hats. If you're going to do any kind of incentives, make sure, absolutely positive that you can deliver on this so you don't have people who are pissed off, because pissed off people tell lots of other people their tale of woe. And I can tell you that, yes, I want that $400. Now, I know what's going to happen is that eventually I'm going to find somebody, they're going to say, oh, we have a time limit on those. Or, you needed to do something sooner. How much energy do I have to put in to give me what you said you were going to give me? And that's why I say, be careful of incentives and don't buy something just because the incentives. Buy it because the service is going to help you and it's going to do what you want it to do. And with that, I want to thank you for joining us in this exciting episode of the Raging Verbalist number 190. Also, anybody who wants to get the Zippy Cup, reach out to me. We'll put it up for bid or auction. I have not. You get none of my DNA, so you can't clone me or anything. But we can do something with this. Because I got it on a free Tuesday. There you go. I want to go hang around a T-Mobile place and get some free little tchotchke thing. So have a great week. Come back and see us. And I'm John Paul Dutch is actually selling it for myself and the ever lovely Sandra. Have a great week, and we'll see you on the next Raging Verbalist.